Warning, spoilers ahead. The following is a recap of the movie Mama. After killing his two company partners, Jeffrey DeSange goes to his house and shoots his wife before running away with his two daughters. After telling them that their mother was sick, one of his daughters, Victoria, keeps telling him to slow down, and he screams at her, making him lose control over the car and crash. Lucas DeSange, the man's brother, arrives at the house and finds the police, prevents him from entering. After leaving the car, Jeffrey walks through the forest with his daughters until they reach an abandoned cabin with the name Helvetia. Victoria notices a shadow moving behind the window, but after going inside, they find the place was empty. Jeff makes a fire for the girls and goes to a room where he falls down crying. Victoria calls for him, saying a woman is floating outside. Jeff walks to the girl, who asks why he was crying, and he says that he was sad because things didn't work between him and their mother. And after taking off her glasses, he tells the girl to look away and holds the gun to her head, ready to shoot her, when suddenly something grabs the man and breaks his neck. Victoria couldn't see clearly what was happening without her glasses. As the silhouette drags the father away, Victoria goes around calling for him. At night, the girls sat down near the fire. Victoria sees something in the shadow that throws a cherry to them to eat, as we see the silhouette as it floats in the darkness. 5 years have passed, and we see that Lucas has not given up the search for his brother and nieces. Meanwhile, his girlfriend Annabelle is happy to see she was not pregnant. Lucas is troubled because he has no money left to pay for the searching team. Meanwhile, the two guys from the research team were resting when suddenly they come across the crashed car. After following the scent of one of the girls, the dog brings the two to the cabin and soon find the two girls who were behaving like animals. Lucas, who received the news, goes to the psychiatric institute where he was warned about the state of the girls and learns that only Victoria was able to communicate. The man goes inside and tries to talk to them and is attacked. He then hands the glasses to Victoria and the girl puts them on, and after she sees him, thinks he was her father and hugs him. Later, during the hearing for the girl's custody against the girl's aunt Jean, Dr. Dreyfus, who represents Luke, gives an assessment to the girl's development and talks about how to survive. They have created an imaginary guardian that they called Mama to feed them and take care of them. Luke is losing the battle since he has no means to raise the two girls. The doctor then tells him he would help him. In condition, he moves the girls to a special house to continue his studies. After Luke won the girl's custody, we see the doctor in a session with Victoria as the girl tells him about the story of Mama, who she says escaped from a hospital for sad people and jumped in water with her baby. After asking her where she heard the story, the girl says that Mama showed her in a dream. Annabelle, who is in a rock band, is troubled by the girl's condition and is told to leave Luke, but the woman refuses. Later we see her and Luke welcoming the girls to their new home. After Lily calls her Mama, the woman asks her to call her Annie instead. The girls go inside the house. Victoria looks around the place as Lily hides behind her, and the girls are happy to see their old dog. Victoria is acting normal, while the little Lily is still eating and sleeping like a wild creature. Dr. Dreyfus checks the records for any psychiatric hospital around the area to verify the story told by Victoria, but the man is told that there was only one that shut down in 1878. The lady gives him the records, saying that there was a patient called Edith Brennan who matched his story. At the house, the two girls were singing a lullaby when they saw a moth, and both suddenly got up and ran away. We then see Lily playing in her room with someone. Annabelle, who was about to check on her, is told by Victoria that the dog ran outside, sending the woman away before she too, after removing her glasses, goes inside the room, while we see Lily floating in the air. While practicing, Anna sees the lights flickering and then suddenly goes out, and after they are back, she's scared to see Lily on the kitchen table. The girl jumps and runs away, leaving Anna terrorized. The woman shares her concerns with Luke, who says that everything will be fine. While they were in the bed, the woman screams when she saw a dark silhouette standing behind the door. Luke checks but sees nothing. The man goes to the girl's room and sees the door ajar. He tries to close it, but it closes on its own. The man goes inside and sees the girl sleeping. There was a gust of wind coming from the window, so the man thought that the door closed because of it. He then goes back to Anna, saying that there was no one in the house, but she says that she was sure of what she saw. The man then asks her to stay with the girls while he goes looking around the house. When about to go downstairs, Luke sees a moth and soon sees more coming out of the black patch on the wall that seemed expanding. Soon he sees dark fingers coming out before something jumps out and pushes him. The man falls down, rolls on the stairs and crashes on the ground, where he loses consciousness. Luke is then taken to the hospital and is in a coma. Anna asks Dr. Dreyfus what would happen to the girls, and he tells her that she needs to take care of them. The woman says that she is not ready, but the man says that they risk losing custody. After they check the house, the police say that they found no trace of an intruder. At night, Anna was walking in the corridor where she sees Lily running away. On all four, she then hears an agonized scream coming out of the closet, but turns out it was only a dream. Next day, the doctor comes to check on the girls and is told by Anna that they were talking to the wall saying mama. The man then finds a doll that Anna said was made by the girls and takes a photo of it. Watching back his recordings of the sessions, the man hears Victoria saying that mama made the doll that they found in the cabin. When asking about mama, he notices the girls starting to look in a corner. The man looks behind him and jumps in his seat when hearing the phone ringing. It was the woman from the archives who told him that she had something for him. Anna, who is preparing food for the girls, sees them laughing behind her back at something. We then see long hair floating in the shadow. That night, the girls were sleeping when a closet opened on its own and hair came out of it. Lily wakes up and goes to play with the entity, then calls for Victoria too. Anna hears through the vent the girls humming a lullaby and the voice of a woman singing along. She goes to check on them and the lights begins to flicker again. As she gets closer, she hears the screams of the girls playing in their room. Anna goes in and they suddenly freeze and stares at her. She tells them to go to sleep and goes to close the closet, but Victoria tells her not to. She asks her what's inside the closet and she answers nothing. Anna closes the closet and is about to leave. The girls stay frozen in place. After leaving, Victoria goes to sleep while Lily stands smiling and staring at the closet. Annabelle tells Dr. Dreyfus that someone was visiting the girls and how she heard the voice of the woman singing the lullaby. He then shows her a recording of Victoria singing the song, saying that the girls show signs of dissociative disorder. We then see the doctor visiting the archives where the woman hands him a box that contains some old human remains, asking him if he believed in ghosts, saying that they are born from emotions and are bound to repeat themselves, and righting the wrong that was done to them. When asking what was in the box, the woman says it was the wrong. At the house, Anna hears strange voices. We see behind her a shadowy figure floating in the air. Then suddenly the ghost of the woman appears right behind her back. At the hospital, the lights are flickering, and on one of the computers, the word mama is written. Moth appears in Luke's room when the man suddenly wakes up and sees a tunnel extending before him. He sees the silhouette of his brother Jeff, who asks him to save his daughters and go to the cabin. The man starts to shake as the doctors soon arrive to see that he was awake. Next day, Annabelle and the girls visit him. Victoria shows a drawing she made for Luke, and the man shows her something he drew for her too. After trying to show drawing to her sister, she finds the girl eating the moths. Later at the house, Anna finds Victoria sitting alone, crying. When trying to comfort her, the girl says that she doesn't want her to get hurt since she gets jealous. The girls then look at something. The woman turns around and sees nothing. Victoria then runs away. Jean, the girl's aunt, comes for a visit and finds Lily bruised. Anna says that it's normal, but the woman asks her to let her keep them for some time. After kicking her out, the woman calls the social service, saying her nieces are being abused, but she is told that she needed evidence. Luke gets mad at Annie for forgetting that Jean was visiting. The woman says that she was exhausted, so the man tells her that he was coming out in one day. Dr. Dreyfus was in a session with Victoria. After hypnotizing the girl, he asks her about where mama lived in the cabin. The girl tells him in the walls. He then asks her if she came with them to the house, and the girls refuse to tell him. The man then keeps pressuring her, then shows her a photo of a woman, asking her if she was mama. After refusing to tell him, the man screams at her, and soon we hear the voice of a woman. He looks behind him and sees the dark spot growing on the wall. After seeing the doctor leaving in a hurry, Anne asks what's wrong. He says he will be back later. While in the car, the man sees the ghost behind the window watching him. Later, he was going through the photos of the old cabin while thinking that he had discovered some kind of portal that connects Helvetia to the house. We then see the man going for a trip to look for answers. Annabelle was sleeping when she suddenly had a dream where she was in the shoes of a woman that, after going inside an orphanage, kills a nun, then steals a baby and ran away. Then after she was followed and trapped, the woman jumped from a cliff and died. Annabelle wakes up and finds Victoria looking at her as she hears sounds coming from beneath bed. As we see underneath, the ghost of the woman that slowly comes out and attacks her, but it was also another nightmare. In the room, Lily sees Mama and tells Victoria to come, but she refuses to go. Then we see Lily leaving moving through the window. While she looks outside for Mama, we see Dr. Dreyfus at the Helvetia cabin. Inside, he finds the portal and suddenly hears the screams and cries of the entity. The man tells her that he knows who she is and what she wants before he is brutally attacked by the ghost that breaks his neck. Back at the house, Annabelle had just woken up and had a bruise on the neck. After checking on the girls, she sees Lily sleeping outside. She quickly runs to find her freezing. The woman quickly then goes back inside and holds the girl tight to warm her up. Lily, who first was fighting, quickly gave up when she felt the caring of the woman. Victoria, who saw Annabelle holding her sister, looks around scared from Mama's reaction. Later, the woman was doing some chores when she sees something moving under the sheets. She thinks it was Lily playing around when she suddenly hears Victoria screaming, saying food was ready and that they are both waiting for her, as we see the ghost of Mama hiding inside the closet. The woman hears the noise and goes to check inside and finds the portal. Victoria then comes in and we see the ghost appearing for a second as the woman looked away. Downstairs, Annabelle asks the girls about Mama and later calls the doctor, who doesn't respond. She then finds some of the doctor's files where she discovers a photo of the woman that the man thought was Mama. She then takes the girls and goes to meet the doctor and finds his secretary on a call crying, saying that she is afraid that something bad might have happened to him. Before walking away in tears, Annabelle slips into his office and grabs the box with the files. At that time in the hospital, Luke was looking through some clues where he came across a picture of the tunnel he saw in his vision. The place was called Wilson Pass. The man then escapes the hospital and heads to the location. At the house, Annabelle grabs the doctor's laptop and starts checking his reports and learns from Victoria's session about the woman's story, how she jumped in the water and how she couldn't find her baby and kept looking for it for a long time before she found them. Annabelle then learns the baby was found dead, hanging from a branch, and that its remains were put inside a box that was given to the doctor by the archives lady. The woman then calls for Luke, who was still in the woods at night but couldn't reach him. Victoria finds Annabelle crying and hugs her while Lily tells her not to. Then after telling her she loves her, Victoria goes with Lily to sleep. Meanwhile, Jean pulls up outside the house with a camera in hand. Victoria wakes up and finds the closet with the portal open. She then brings Lily and they both walk downstairs, where she finds Annabelle still on the laptop with the headphones on. She turns around and finds Lily staring at something, then sees Mama and tells the girl not to look at her because she is mad. After she attacks them, the two run screaming back to the room, but Victoria is locked out by her sister. Soon Annabelle, who heard the screaming, comes running, finds the girl. Lily lets out a scream and they both go inside to find her scared on the ground. They hear a growling and they see the ghost crawling down the wall. They all then run away, but the entity makes the woman trip and fall, then crawls over her and begins to suck the life from her. Victoria intervenes, reminding the ghost of her promise. Mama was angry as she approached the girl, then grabbed and broke her glasses. The ghost then hears Jean walking into the house and goes after her. The woman sees the hair crawling on the ground, then the ghost pops out and attacks her. Victoria and Lily goes downstairs and finds that the woman was possessed. We are then shown a scene from the past where we see the corpse of the woman floating in the river as the moths came out of her body. Annabelle wakes up and doesn't find the girls. She then grabs the box with the baby remains and leaves the house, destination Clifton Forge. On the road, she keeps calling Luke, who is unreachable. Soon she finds the man on the road and tells him about what happened, saying that the ghost will kill the girls. Inside the cabin, they find Jean, who was now but a corpse. Outside, Annabelle sees the cliff and says that they should be there. After reaching the top and finding the girls, ghost suddenly appears, reaching with its arms, calling for the girls to come to make them fall off the cliff. Lily walks up to her and is almost about to fall when Luke suddenly grabs her. The ghost holds the head of the man, slowly killing him when Annabelle calls for her while holding the remains of her baby. It approaches the woman and after grabbing the remains, she walks away crying. She reveals the bones of her child and slowly turns back into her human appearance as it cries in pain. Lily suddenly calls for her, screaming Mama. The ghost sees the girls and calls her name, then suddenly screams in anger, reverting back to her ghostly form, and then throws the bones of her baby away before coming after them. She attacks Luke and then goes after Annabelle, sucking her life, then throwing her down before she takes the girls to die. Annabelle crawls after them, but the ghost holds her head down every time. Victoria begs her to stop so that she doesn't get hurt, but the woman doesn't give up and holds her from her dress. The girl then lets go of the ghost's hand, telling it she will stay. The ghost then drags Lily away and floats with her beyond the cliff. As Annabelle begs her to bring her back, the ghost wraps herself and Lily into a cocoon, and then they both drop down. After hitting the branch, the cocoon transforms into hundreds of moths. We then see that Luke was alive. Victoria, who is crying with Annabelle, sees a butterfly landing on her finger and thinks it was Lily. The butterfly flies away. As they stay there hugging each other, crying the loss of the little girl. And with that, we reach the end of the movie Mama by Guillermo del Toro. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like to support the channel, subscribe for more, and see you next time. Bye bye.